How's this for a motivational phrase? Our resistance will be talked about for generations.
What the fuck is that?
I'm fucking feral today. Feral!
I'm going to get drunk today, and I'm gonna act like an angry black fucking woman, cause I'm fucking angry! I'm mad! I'm upset! I'm angry as fuck, bro. I'm angry, I'm hurt, my feelings are fucking hurt. We always finish last, we always come fucking last to everybody, even our own fucking men. And you niggas mamas be black. This shit is crazy. Y'all got black ass daughters. I'm angry as fuck. I'm gonna get drunk and cause a problem.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is there's a blue bracelet that you need to wear because I want to make sure that nobody ever thinks that I am one. The apparently majority of white women who voted for Donald Trump. I do not want you ever to think that I was one of them. So, is that particular bracelet?
I say we pass a law that requires anyone who voted for that boring piece of shit to wear their Trump hat 24/7. Because conservatives are dangerous for anyone who isn't white, Christian.
Better to listen than to talk.
What is something weird about conservatives?
There is almost a cultish vibe, I feel. The way they operate within themselves, they refuse to listen to outside people, you know, they're refusing to learn, essentially. I think that is a large part of it.
I'm at a loss for words. What is this supposed to prove? I mean, the clown makeup is fitting, but how does someone get this lost? Snapping out of it. Guys, it's clear that feminists just can't comprehend the shift. They attempted to throw the West out of orbit, and now the correction is so pronounced they have no idea what to do with themselves. In a lot of ways, it's a lot like mainstreaming a small group of people after the cult leader drinks the forbidden juice. We have Jimmy Kimmel crying about NATO, clucking hens on The View, Colbert talking about how people democratically chose the end of democracy, whatever that means. Simps and chicks have lost their damn minds. There's just no other way to cut it. Then again, if they all had to go in for an IQ test, maybe we'd get answers.
You say you served your country?
Yes.
What branch?
Army.
Army? Do you like the army?
I hated it.
Well, hey, as the army, when they invested in you, do you know how to read military time?
Yeah. I have to do my hands.
What time is this? You have to use your hands.
1:45. 1:45.
12:45.
12:45.
Girl, you're in the army. How many years you served?
Thank you for your service.
You know what sets me off really bad?
Give it.
So I'm a woman. I'm allowed to be scared of a spider. But a man that is even more scared of a spider and you're trying to make me go kill it?
We can't do this. We're not doing this.
I thought you were the man.
No,
Why do I
get a
gotta do
gun
this?
and shoot the spider.
Exactly, or the man, just for not doing it. Either one.
So you were with a man that was afraid of spiders?
Yeah.
Remember, these are the same people that talk about how they'd rather be with a bear. So none of it makes sense. Which in a big way is why women don't understand the masculine correction happening in the West right now. I move around all over the world, but I can't say that I don't watch the elections. It's like the WWE in Suits, and it's always a good time when you can watch a feminist meltdown as the numbers roll in. Afterward, some people seem to look at this with blind optimism. They said things like, finally, now they can see the error in their ways, we can finally return to normalcy. And while this is a nice dream, I knew in my gut that we were in for a bumpy ride. These people have been conditioned for generations, packed to the brim with beliefs about the supposed patriarchy and the overall villainization of men. I mean, sure, this is a great step forward, but just looking at stories like this, how America embraced gender war. Well, we have a lot of work to do before things get remotely better.
Let's ride.
The big two genders are said to be at war. The results of the presidential election can hardly be read otherwise. In preliminary exit poll data out of Pennsylvania, women aged 18 to 29 swung 40 points for Kamala Harris, while their male counterparts swung 24 points for Donald Trump.
Brainwashed you.
The conflict, the dark, snarling, many-headed beast of indifference and contempt that emerges from these numbers has been building for decades. Women in America, as in nearly all industrialized democracies, used to be more conservative than men. In the 1970s, they began to shift leftward, then closed the partisan gap by the 80s, and during the 90s became firmly more liberal than American men.
World government, deep state, the usual.
The simplest explanation for this is the most plausible one. Women, acquiring education and workplace power and economic independence, drew closer to a party that valorized equality and away from a party that valorized hierarchy.
Not great.
In the 2010s, women gained control over culture too. A slick, corporatized feminism, the bugs about male tears, the Ruth Bader Ginsburg bobbleheads occupied the public sphere. Girls were brash and confident and eager to call out bad male behavior.
Wow, that backfired.
Over time, their numbers grew, fermenting in corners of the internet that indulged their feelings of being left behind. Women were graduating from high school and college in greater numbers than men. They were suddenly wanted in places where they had been unwanted almost forever. Around 10 years ago came a presidential candidate who promised to reverse the shifts that had transformed American life toward equality, to put men back on top.
And everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
It was war then too. Trump won despite and because of the fact that he'd bragged about with women. The fact that his wife was hot, silent, and seemingly miserable. The fact that he had so many accusers no one could keep track. Alright, so we get the gist of how the progressives are going to spin this. The same old tropes. The same old nonsensical psychobabble. Seriously, people, do you have anything new in the tank for us? I mean, from the heart of Hollywood to these dumb stories you use to twist things, it's always the same old tiring talking points. No fun references, no humor. Do you know why you guys lost? It's simple. Here it goes. You're boring. Every one of these things, from that Gillette campaign to the Bud Light controversy to that ridiculous Jaguar commercial. You think you're doing something here, but it's the same stupid shit every damn day. If you want to know why this failed, beyond the obvious, look in the mirror.
Did not denigrate. Sorry, I did not denigrate myself to do these kinds of things to make money. Your dad would disown you in a heartbeat. Your response?
You wouldn't. Maybe yours would, but mine wouldn't.
Why do you hide it from him?
Come on.
Because right now I'm still unsure of how to tell him. There's obviously been plans of telling him, my family in general. As of right now, I'm unsure. And I'm only...
Because he's going to be upset, right?
Yes, he's going to be upset, but
Why? Why is he going to be upset?
Because his daughter is selling her online.
Yeah. And do you think any father ever wants that for their daughter?
No.
No. That's why he's going to be upset, right?
Yeah.
You know why? You know why he's going to be upset more than anything? This is what the chatter was saying, is because you're shaming him. You're bringing shame to his family name. That's why he's going to be upset.
Do I need to spell it out for you? Denial. You are in denial. A perfect example was how you pointed out the elect's wife and said the fact that his wife was hot, silent, and seemingly miserable. I mean, guys, you tried this already. You spent millions on ads where women were hiding from their husbands. You tried to tell these traditional families that they should be scared of their providers and vote blue. And guess what? Even the chicks, the ones you keep assuming are miserable for being normal, they dunked on your ass. But you just can't help but double down.
Oh, God.
Both campaigns leaned into the gender war. Trump turned his focus away from the suburban white women who'd supported him in 2016, and he courted young men, attending UFC matches, cozying up to Elon Musk, and going on podcasts recommended by his 18-year-old son.
Those guys are cool.
He led with vibes of absurdist aggression, a miasma of crypto and YouTube testosterone, allowing the policy architecture of actual, brutal gender-based subjugation to follow easily behind. Harris went on Call Her Daddy, a podcast where young women dish about bumping and kvetch about men, and got Julia Roberts to narrate an ad about how wives don't have to disclose their liberal votes to their conservative husbands.
Idiots.
The strategy reflected a reality that has since been unveiled by the results, a gendered battle intensified by young people who are fighting for a sense of individual purchase on a world they have barely begun to properly live in. Those Pennsylvania exit polls, the ones in North Carolina, where young female voters went for Harris by 33 points and young male voters went for Trump by 23. The fact that the entire nation, more or less, is shifting rightward at least a little, but that men aged 18 to 29 have moved almost 30 points rightward since 2020. If the 2016 election illuminated the shocking state of white women's loyalties, the 2024 election has instantly done the same for young men.
I wonder why.
The gender war, as pitched by politicians, revolves around two competing visions of a woman's life. Each side thinks it understands what the other wants. The Trumpists, embodied by J.D. Vance and his repulsive, sneering, childless cat lady comments, believe that the left wants women to be Plan B gobbling dilettantes in their youth, de-stomping corporate drones in early adulthood, lonely, angry spinsters who approach 40 in a mania for egg freezing or emasculation. Soon afterward, the woman problems becomes neutralized by the relative invisibility of the post-menopausal female. Can't help but notice a little bias there when you said embodied by J.D. Vance and his repulsive, sneering, childless cat lady comments. Whatever happened to journalistic objectivity? Oh, right. You all became a shill for the government and feminist corporate powers that bought you. Plus, let's see what your name is here. Gina Tolentino? Yeah, if I had to take a wild guess, your apartment probably has that not-so-fresh tuna and litter box smell. You know, because you are a lonely, angry spinster. It's fine to admit it. Everything you wrote in this steaming pile of garbage confirms that. Gina, Jeannie, sweetheart, your hero of the week didn't lose because she was a woman. Even if that is a valid reason, she lost because the U.S. was tired of seeing this on a daily basis.
I'm not gonna do everything for you. I made you breakfast that morning. I'm not gonna also make you coffee. You gotta get up sometimes.
Okay, but that's the thing. Like, it was their first morning together. You can't even, like, do that for me? Like, we're already, like, on this, like, power trip. I don't like that.
It's power trip.
Yeah, you're on a power trip. I shouldn't even have to ask you to, like, be nice to me and do nice things for me. You should do it because you love me. So if you really love me, I would like for you to show me that you do, and it starts with the little things.
You need to walk on your own, too.
Oh, it's coffee, Daniel.
No, it's the little... Listen,
Stop.
babe.
Please stop yelling, or I'm gonna, like, we're not gonna have a conversation, and I'm gonna shut you out, and I'm gonna be really upset, and I'm being serious right now. Please don't yell at me.
What did you say?
Please don't yell at me.
I'm not
I don't like
yelling
that. Because this is literally the dumbest conversation ever.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, and I'm being serious with you right now. I don't like that. Please do not raise your voice at me.
That's not on me.
Yes, it is.
That's on you.
Okay, then we don't have to be together.
That would be for the best. My thing is we can make inferences based on data. And all of the data says that when women are virgins on their wedding night, that is the highest chance they have at a happy, successful
And you know
marriage.
why are
That's
all
they've ever had.
They don't know better.
So why do you need to know better? Most of the time, if you get better, like if you slept with 50 dudes, there's no way you're gonna keep the best guy out of the 50. This isn't even a personal thing. Like, I'm talking about numbers, data.
Why are we debasing the human complex
virgin-
experience to data and statistics?
Okay, and I can take it anecdotally where, you know, the girl that's on OnlyFans is saying she's on antidepressants. Like, there's more problems when you sleep with more people. And I think
If you want to make that decision for yourself, that's fine. But don't sit here and judge other people who don't want to
throw
do that.
data and statistics in
And
people's
I'm saying,
face.
In other words, don't judge me, but why I am not married. Gina, ladies, this war you are referring to was never about getting respect. In fact, women had that in spades before everything began to melt down. What you wanted was to avoid objective analysis and to not be judged, and those are completely different things. We've seen what happens to women when they're protected from judgment or general concern. Hell, I have to sift through the product of your policy like a pig in shit for hours on end. This dreamy revolution you keep referring to, it never happened. You're all miserable. So miserable that you have to take thousands of crying selfies and crappy movies telling everyone how miserable you are. Nobody cares anymore. That they really didn't care when all of this took off beyond interfering with the lives of normal people. You're blind, Gina, and based on your work here, it looks like you're about to be left behind. The chasm between young men and women in this year's vote is the chasm between these two stories. It's men fearing women's enthrallment to independence at the expense of their own centrality, and women fearing their subjugation to men at the expense of their lives.
Delusion.
The difference, and this is always the difference, is about volition. Men who voted for Trump fear that women might actually want. Women who voted for Harris fear what will be done to them against their will. In the imaginary world ruled by angry lesbian socialist girl bosses, there is absolutely nothing to stop you from being a barefoot, pregnant homemaker at 24 if you'd like to be one.
A crazy cat lady?
In the increasingly non-hypothetical world ruled by far-right Trumpists, the blissful servitude of women must be ensured by removing their control over themselves, and ideally, actually by removing them from the public sphere altogether.
Sounds nice.
In a recent video, the former Trump aide and Project 2025 advisor John McEntee quipped while cheerfully eating chili cheese fries. So I guess they misunderstood when we said we wanted male-only voting. We meant male, M-A-L-E. Dale Patridge, the pastor of an anti-woke church and the author of a book called The Manliness of Christ, always a funny argument, given that Jesus famously bled to death to give new life, as many girls and women in conservative states will over the next 4 years. Posted, in a Christian marriage, a wife should vote according to her husband's direction. He is the head and they are one. And that's a bad thing because, seriously, the only thing I've and every other guy has gathered from the feminist reaction to these developments is that the stuff they claim to be tyrannical and wrong is normal. The guy at the end here just said the husband is the head and they are one. What part of that is radical? None of it is. Things got so out of whack with these cat ladies that a man lifting weights with a cross on his neck is the new rock and roll. And think about it. Nobody is keeping women and men from being traditional. Well, that's a load of nonsense. You guys were literally advocating for taking daughters out of traditional homes to be irreparably altered because they didn't abide by the messed up progressive status quo. You're crazy. You wounded the world and its masculine institutions to make your life and everyone else's life miserable. So, you lost, Gina. It backfired, and you're cooked.
Women only care about money. Women only care about money. Here's the thing. If men could collectively figure out how to have a net positive impact on women's lives without money, then...
From the clothes that you wear to the food you eat. If a man's coming down, running through the street, just pick up the phone and say yo click. And man is coming to help you breathe. From the house that you have to the phone in your hand, every single damn thing was built by a man. So chill with the words, calm down with the phrases, cause you should be giving men all your praises. And build this world with fire and steel and maintain it. All the shit is real. Sitting in the car, you shouldn't even complain, wondering why no man wants to give you his name.
It's corny, but it's true. Ben, the one thing I like about these delusional rants is that we can sit back and see it for the tantrum it is. The icing on the cake is that it's now just noise. They lost any semblance of power they had. Now it's time to rebuild. Checkmate. Good luck with the balls of yarn, or Chad and Tyrone. Don't really care. And if you made it to the end of this video, I want to say I appreciate you. So please don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment to have a chance to win, and hit that sub button for daily videos. And if you could take a quick sec to subscribe to the second channel, Man Guide Reacts, link is down below in the description so we can be sure that our message will keep on reaching the new men out there. I appreciate all the support, y'all, and I want to wish you all tremendous success.